Have you ever heard people use procurement and purchasing as if they mean the same thing? They don't. In today's video, we'll clear up this confusion once and for all. By the end, you'll not only know the difference between procurement and purchasing, but also understand how both functions work together to keep the supply chain moving efficiently. Introduction. Procurement and purchasing are two of the most commonly used and misunderstood terms in business. Both involve acquiring goods and services, but the scope, objectives, and impact of each are very different. Think of it this way. Purchasing is about buying things right now. Procurement is about buying the right things for the future. Let's break it down step by step. The core definitions. Let's start with what each term actually means. Purchasing is the transactional process of acquiring goods or services. It focuses on day-to-day activities like creating purchase orders, approving invoices, receiving goods, making payments. The goal of purchasing is simple: get what's needed on time at the right price. On the other hand, procurement is a strategic function that covers the entire sourcing cycle, from identifying a need to managing supplier relationships after purchase. Procurement includes activities like market research, supplier selection and evaluation, contract negotiation, risk management, cost analysis, and sustainability tracking. If purchasing is the act of buying, procurement is the strategy behind the buy. The process comparison. Let's visualize this with a workflow comparison. Imagine a company needs 10,000 packaging boxes for a new product line. Purchasing would involve getting a quote from an approved supplier, raising a purchase order, approving and paying the invoice once the boxes arrive. Procurement, however, starts earlier and goes deeper. Identifying business needs, conducting supplier market analysis, evaluating vendors based on cost, lead time, and sustainability, negotiating contract terms, setting key performance indicators, KPIs, for suppliers. Then, handing over to purchasing for transaction execution. So, procurement decides who and how we buy from, while purchasing handles what and when we buy. Numerical example. Let's bring in some numbers. Suppose your company buys $1 million worth of raw materials per year. A purchasing-only focus might save 2 to 3% by finding slightly lower prices. But a strategic procurement approach, through supplier consolidation, better contracts, and demand planning, could save 8 to 12% annually. That's a $100,000 difference simply from shifting from a transactional to a strategic mindset. This is why procurement leaders are now being seen as value creators, not just cost controllers. Real-world example. Let's look at a real case. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many organizations faced severe supply shortages. Companies that had a robust procurement strategy, like Unilever and Siemens, quickly switched suppliers, diversified sourcing regions, and used long-term contracts to ensure continuity. Meanwhile, companies relying purely on purchasing struggled, as they didn't have pre-qualified alternative suppliers or visibility into sourcing risks. That's the difference between reactive purchasing and proactive procurement. Organizational structure and skills. In many organizations, purchasing reports into procurement. Procurement professionals handle strategy, supplier management, and performance tracking. Purchasing professionals manage transactions, ERP entries, and order accuracy. Here's how roles differ. A procurement manager focuses on supplier strategy and category management. A purchasing officer focuses on purchase order creation and vendor follow-up. In terms of skills, procurement needs negotiation, analytics, and market understanding. Purchasing needs accuracy, ERP proficiency, and speed. Both are vital, just at different layers of the supply chain. Conclusion and key takeaways. So let's summarize. Purchasing is transactional, buying goods and services efficiently. Procurement is strategic, ensuring the organization sources smartly and sustainably. Both functions together make up the lifeblood of supply chain efficiency. If you're building your career, start by understanding the purchasing basics, but aim to grow into procurement strategy. That's where the real impact and higher paying opportunities lie. Now that you know the difference, which role do you see yourself in, procurement or purchasing? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more supply chain insights, turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.